Just last month, Nebraska appointed a new state poet, Rodgers.
Make of my back a book spine.
If you don't know what a state poet is, don't worry. You might be familiar with the term poet laureate. There's a national poet laureate, and every state has their own poet laureate. Nebraska, being the exception that it often tends to be, instead has what is called a state poet. Matt Mason, the former Nebraska state poet, says that the role is essentially the same.
John G. Nyhard is our poet laureate, and he's still our poet laureate because the state legislature named him that in perpetuity.
Mason said that one of his goals was to make poetry more accessible to more people. This involved his project to do a poetry event in every county in Nebraska, in public libraries, theaters, and other places.
We're kind of taught sometimes that poetry is something more complicated or more lofty, that poetry is supposed to be smarter than us, and it's not.
Rodgers, the new state poet, is still in the early phases of this transition.
I haven't adjusted yet, but I'm very grateful. Perhaps by the summer, I'll be a little more well-adjusted.
Rodgers stated that her project as the state poet involves 3 parts.
The first part is I would like to host 5 showcases within the 3 congressional districts in Nebraska. The second part is that I would like to have a small poetic exchange program. And then the third is simply some sort of regular meeting to do logistical stuff, like the boring, mundane things that we all don't want to do, which is like press the button, submit the work, proofread the thing, you know?
For the Omaha News, I'm Ashton Kay.